do like a wilderness better.
Huh?
Wilderness is nicer.
Tiens, regarde-moi.
So if it's 680, how much?
Number lines. Number lines.
Yeah.
Please make sure you can all see the screen. Okay, sealed genetic matching room.
Hi, and welcome to the Avatar program. Riding on the back of a Banshee by being genetically matched and linked to an avatar. Using avatars to fly this way was all figured out by my boss, Dr. Jackie Ogden. And we're here in the Valley of Moara studying Banshees and their environment. Avatars can ride on Banshees too. That's why you're linking to an avatar. It was Dr. Ogden who restarted the Avatar program. It's because of her that you're able to go through this rite of passage today. Pandora is a breathtaking natural world. I cannot wait for you guys to see it for yourselves. Okay, to get you flying on a Banshee, we need to find each of you an avatar. Alright, you've all been matched with avatars. Looks like they're ready for you in the next room. When the door opens, please go inside, all the way in, and stand over the same number that you're standing over now. And I'll see you in there.
You're about to experience a ceremony that's very special to the Na'vi, flying on the back of an Ikran, or as we call it, a Banshee. To the Na'vi, connecting to an Ikran and flying on its back is an incredibly important rite of passage they call Ikni Maya. Let's see how this works.
We establish a link using powerful psionic amplification equipment. A human driver is connected to an avatar, which could be physically hundreds of kilometers away. When you follow our technician into the link chamber, you'll see a series of 16 link chairs. Please go to the number that matches the number you're standing on now. First, stow your gear in the storage containers on the back wall. This should include all bags, cameras, and other items, including cell phones. It's important to push them all the way into the bin. Then get onto the chair as you would a bike. Straddle the seat, step forward, and sit down. Slide your hips forward until you are against the chest pad, and then move your feet all the way forward. Wait until you're seated before you put on your flight visors. Hold on to the hand grips as shown. It's important to hold on to the hand grips at all times. After you're seated, back and leg restraints will be firmly engaged. For your safety, throughout this entire experience, always remain seated and supervise your children.
It'll feel like you're really there. Moments later, you'll begin your flight. A Na'vi guide will lead you out. You'll experience the breathtaking beauty of Pandora.
Hold on to the hand grips and supervise your children.
Oh, 24 is not bad.
Doing great. How are you?
As you move out into zone 2.
If you're on the right, watch those hands are between links or we're just sliding close. Jumbo friends, good morning and welcome aboard. My name is Mitchell. I'm going to be your safari guide today as we make our way through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. As we head on out there, I do have a few quick safety reminders. Please keep those hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle. Always remain seated. That goes for littles as well. Please do not lift them up into the air. And just be as respectful of the animals today as we possibly can be. With that being said, let's go ahead and start our safari. We're headed into the Little Lituri Forest. Here is home to a lot of Africa's more shy and more reclusive animals. They are experts at hide and seek out here, so they can be really tricky to find sometimes. Alright, so you're not gonna have to look super hard for the first animals. Coming up to the right hand side, it's kind of down in the bottom left corner behind the bush. Now, over there, that is called an okapi. Now, the okapi, really cool thing about them is they are the closest living relative that there is to a giraffe. We know the two species, they're so closely related for a couple different reasons. Mostly it's because of the shape of their skull and their prehensile tongue. That prehensile tongue is just a very fancy way of saying that their tongue is super strong and is super long. They use it just like a giraffe would to wrap around branches, pulling off the leaves, as well as cleaning out their eyes, ears, and nose. They're one of the only animals that is able to lick the inside of their own ears.
Oh, wow.
Notice awesome that we saw an okapi out today at all. They're really reclusive species. They were not discovered by the Western world until 1901, and the first baby okapi was not photographed in the wild until 2018. Now, as we head a bit deeper in the forest, we can be on the lookout for maybe a few forest antelope, even a couple birds if they want to be seen today. Looks like just about we are going to find two species out. We're going to find the greater kudu, the big gray antelope over to the right hand side. Off to the left, you're going to see a black rhinos up on the hill. Now, these greater kudu are one of the largest forest antelope out there, standing as high as 55 inches tall at the shoulders and jumping from 6 to 8 feet up into the air. Now, that back rhino out there, you can see they can get pretty big. They almost weigh as much as 2 tons. They're still pretty quick though for their size. If they want to charge, they typically reach speeds of up to 35 miles per hour. Just past the rhino, also to your left, you can see this beautiful red and orange antelope. That is a bongo. It's also commonly called the ghost of the forest, just because it's so very rarely seen by us in the wild. Now that is all we'll see for the forest, so we'll go ahead and get out of here. Our next stop is in the Safi River, which is home to a lot of Africa's more aquatic animals. As we head out to the river, the water is usually pretty clear, so if you're gonna look anywhere, I recommend looking at the bottom of the river. Look for someone running around down there. Alright, first you're gonna find it to the right, in the very back right corner. There are a couple of hippos on the surface of the water. And way in that back right side. We can look for some of the other half of the river, so I'll talk about them in just a moment, but I did want to point out these pelicans. These are the pink-backed pelican. Now they'll be pink year-round, but as mating season gets closer, the pink colors on their back get a little bit brighter. It's kind of like a little blush. Alright, so look out to your left. There's a lot more hippos on the left of the island. Now the hippo, they are pretty social with their own species. When they are seen together like this, it's what's known as a bloat of hippos. Now they are incredibly fond of their rivers. They're really not going to stray too far from them. If they do though, usually it's because they're looking for food. They venture as far as 6 miles to find that. They are all herbivores who will mostly eat aquatic plants and grasses. And on average, a hippo will eat up to 85 pounds of food a day. Just past the hippos, we're headed over Croc Bridge. You can see in the water, kind of like a tree under there. There's a Nile crocodile that we're passing. You can see quite a few. They really like to hang out kind of way in the back behind the rocks as well. Now they are the largest crocodilian species in Africa. They weigh in about 500 pounds, and they'll grow to be between 16 all the way up to 20 feet. It's about the same length as a giraffe is tall. Pretty cool thing about them is they are able to eat as much as half of their body weight in one single sitting. They mostly eat fish, but they're not the pickiest of eaters. They're very opportunistic hunters who happen to have one of the strongest bite forces in the animal kingdom at 2,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. Now we are headed out of the river. We're going to head into the savannah next. The first thing we'll see is not an animal. It's a really cool tree off to the right, the big leafless one. This is called a baobab. It's the same tree that Rafiki lives in The Lion King. The one that big is said to be almost 2,000 years old. As we head into the savannah, we're gonna go through the western side of it first. It's a lot more open grasslands here. Animals really rely on numbers to stay well protected, so see a few groups that are out. Alright, so one of the really big groups we're gonna see, there are quite a few giraffes actually all over to the right hand side. These are the Maasai giraffe. They're the largest type of giraffe. More importantly, they are the world's tallest land animal. Some adults can stand as high as 20 feet tall. Still up further high, they're pretty fast. Just like a black rhino, if a giraffe wants to run, they can reach speeds of typically up to 35 miles per hour. As we head through the savannah, a lot of the animals out here, they have some really interesting names for their groups. Giraffes are no different. Their group name, they're called a tower of giraffe when they're all together. Now, before I talk too much about the giraffe, we are going to come up to see there's a really cool predator that is out. Now, they're over to your left. They're kind of in that right edge back behind their rock den, and there's a pack of African painted dogs that are out there. Now, they are some of the most successful hunters, not only in Africa, but the entire world. They have an average hunting success rate that's between 80 to 90%. Off to your left are the gigantic horns, or the Ankole cattle. I just have some with the really skinny horns here. These are the sable antelope, who are the symbol of our reserve. Now you can definitely tell for the giraffe, most of their height's really going to come from their neck. It'll make up about 10 feet. However, in the neck of a giraffe, they still have the same amount of vertebrae as us. It's 7, theirs are just quite a bit bigger. Each one of a giraffe's vertebrae grow to be around a foot in length each. Now, one thing I always love to mention about them, if you guys are ever given the opportunity to observe giraffes for a long period of time, you're gonna see they will spend most of their day eating. They have a really big appetite. And a giraffe will actually eat for 22 hours a day. It does not give them long to rest. They only get 30 minutes of sleep on a daily basis. And they're gonna break that time up into maybe 5-minute power naps. For most of the time, they sleep standing up and with their eyes open. We are going to be seeing some zebras out today. You can find the zebras on either side of us. Now, they too have a pretty cool name for their group. We're seeing what's called a dazzle of zebras. But these are the Hartmann's Mountain zebra. You can guess from their name, they live in the mountains. Due to those high elevations, their hearts are around 3 times as big as any other zebra's heart would be. Just about one of these smaller animals we'll see on the reserve. They're also out to the right hand side. They're kind of up at the top of the hill if you see. There's a bunch of really small antelope that are walking around right underneath that really big tree if you find them. Those are the springbok. They're in the top 10 fastest land animals. They can typically reach speeds of up to 60 miles per hour. And they get their name because when they get a little bit frightened, they tend to spring about 6 feet up into the air. So it looks like that might be it for just this first half of West Savannah. We're gonna head to the other end now, which is elephant territory. Now out here, we're on the lookout for the African elephant. It is the world's largest land animal. We have a lot, we're gonna cover them today, so we have a lot of different opportunities. So hopefully find quite a few that might be out. But the first one's coming up is gonna be kind of straight ahead over to the right side just a little bit. before I talk too much about the elephant, there's a really cool monkey that's on today over to the left. Now this is the mandrill monkey. It's the same monkey that Rafiki is based off of from The Lion King. If you see that red and blue coloration all over the monkey, as they get excited, they're gonna get just a little bit brighter in color. Alright, now with the elephant that we just saw, that was an African elephant, the world's largest land animal. They weigh as much as 15,000 pounds. And the one that we just saw, he was actually the largest elephant on the reserve. Right now, he weighs in at just about 12,000 pounds. Looks like he was just alone over here on this half of their territory, so we are going to head to the other end now to look for maybe a few more that might be out. As we get over there, I would love to quickly tell you about a really cool conservation project surrounding the African elephant. It's known as the Elephants and the Bees Project. This project did started in Kenya quite a few years ago, and it involves a lot of farmers over there who are having quite a few difficulties with local herds of elephants running all over their crops. They couldn't grow much, make a lot of money. So instead of resorting to poaching the elephants to control the herds, which unfortunately they often are, it's a big reason why their numbers have declined in the past. Instead of doing that, it was discovered that as big as an elephant is, they are terrified of bees and will run away at just the sight of them. So farmers found this out and they would start to put up beehive fences all over their properties. It keeps those elephants away while still protecting the herds and the crops, but it then gives the farmers a second form of income. They can then sell the honey from the hives. It's a really nice example of some coexistence between us as humans and nature. It's really big and also a really popular conservation project that is out there. Alright, here we are coming up on quite a few more elephants today. Looks like there's maybe 4 or 5 of them all over to the left. As we get up here, if you notice, all over their backs, you're going to find a lot of dirt and this looks like that covering them. That just acts as a natural sunblock. They have some really sensitive skin. It's a big reason why they prefer the rain or very cloudy days to be the most active. Now these are all probably female elephants that are out today. Usually it's really easy to tell a male and female elephant apart. Just take a quick look at how solitary they are. In a herd of elephants, they're all led by a matriarch. She's in charge of what the herd does, where they go and what they do. But once she decides she's enough of the boys, she will chase them out of their herd. Actually, if you can see, there's a baby elephant out today's fighting with his mom. You see it kind of on that left-hand side. I think I never the water with baby, so maybe one more time to kind of a great spot so you really good view of. Alright, maybe if you look behind this little baby, you can see the baby a little bit more. The baby was really small, can be a little bit tricky to find. Loves to stick really close to mom out there. It's still really young. It's coming up on just about 4 months old. As we get past the elephants, we are going to be seeing a flamboyance of flamingos. These are the greater flamingo. They're the largest type, standing just shy of 5 feet tall. But when it comes to their species, they are the lightest in shade of pink. After they hatch, they'll normally be a dark white, almost a gray color. But as they get older and they get bigger, their pink coloration comes from one of the proteins that's found in the microscopic brine shrimp in their diet. It takes almost 2 years after flamingo hatches for it to really start getting that nice pink color. Right here, we did just cut into the eastern savanna. That's where we're going to see a second species of rhinos out today. Laying down to the left, we find a couple of white rhinos. In comparison to the black rhino we already saw, fully grown, a white rhino can be double the size. It weighs as much as 3 tons. Now they all like to shape their own horns. They'll usually rub them on some rocks, maybe some trees. They're really unique, really different. Only a white rhino will go out and do that. Other rhinos are not bothered doing any of that stuff. Just passing around as we are going to see there are quite a few cheetahs out today, also to the left. There are maybe 2 or 3 of them. They are the world's fastest land animal. They're able to reach speeds of 70 miles per hour in just 3 seconds, and maintain that for about 100 yards at a time. Now there are a couple more hanging out down here at this end as well. Again, over to your left. These ones are laying down in that top right corner. The cheetah as a species, they do have a pretty big misconception about them. It's that they're big cats. They're actually not. They don't have that title. A big reason is because cheetahs will hunt during the day. The dark spots all over their coat help cheetahs blend in with the savannah, which is why they are excellent day hunters. But another reason being is cheetahs don't roar. Instead, they will still purr and chirp to communicate with one another. Just over here, we are going to see there are some big cats that are out. We're going to find the lion through here over to the left-hand side. So the male, he's a big fluffy mane on his neck, and that lion is just to the right of him.
Oh, he's right there.
Now these two are big cats, can absolutely roar. A lion's roar can be heard from as far as 6 miles away. So if you guys were in Magic Kingdom at Cinderella's castle, if there was no noise, you could actually hear the lion's roar from these rocks. Now it is so awesome we are seeing them out today. They are a really sleepy animal. They will sleep for around 16 to 20 hours a day. They're a lot more active around nighttime because it's a lot cooler. They don't expend as much energy overheating. But a lion's night vision will exceed ours by 6 full times. But if you were to compare it to our eyesight during the day, it's really going to be about the same. It looks like on the other side of all these rocks, we are going to come to see there are some ostriches that are out here today. The ostriches, you're going to find them laying down there over to the right-hand side, kind of back behind that green truck over there. Now it's the world's largest bird. Males can stand as high as 9 feet tall, weighing at 300 pounds. Now, a lot of people know they are a flightless bird. They walk or run to travel. They're not as fast as a cheetah is, but they're the fastest animal found on 2 legs. They have speeds of up to 45 miles per hour. If you want to check it out, if you take one last look to your right, we're passing by a clutch of their eggs. There's 5 or 6 on the right side of the dirt path. Just one of those eggs weighs the same weight as 24 chicken eggs, and they are very strong. Honestly, a full-grown man could stand right on top of the egg, it's still not going to crack. And we are going to go ahead and leave the savannah behind, and up next we're headed to the Magadi Glen with the Warden's Post. It's the last stop on our safari, and then I'll get you back to the village. Now down here we're going to find one more animal. It's the Nigerian dwarf goats. They're one of 2 domesticated species here on the reserve. They're very playful and they're very social. It's just so that they can establish some good bonds and hierarchies within their societies. If you want to see them again today, if you head over to Rafiki's Planet Watch, there is a petting zoo over there with some awesome Nigerian dwarf goats, as well as a few other species. They all make up the affection section. There's an animation experience and an insider's look at the animal hospital and nutrition centers out there as well. It's just a quick 5-minute train ride to the conservation station. Trains come and go every 5 to 7 minutes, and they're going to be running until 4:30 this afternoon. Now the time has come, we are going to go ahead and make our way back to the village, and our safari is coming to a close, so I would like to say a quick thank you to you guys for coming on safaris today. I hope you got to see some of your favorite animals, learn something new that you can take home and share with any family and friends. Now unfortunately, almost all the animals we saw today are either out in the wild, critically endangered, facing major habitat loss, or possibly both, and you would like to help them in any way you can. I'll leave you guys with this. I know you've probably heard it a million times before, but let's make it 1,000,001. It's reduce, reuse, and recycle. It may not sound like much, but it's one of the biggest ways we're able to help make a difference all over this beautiful planet. As we head into our dog folks here in Harambe, we don't like to say goodbye as far too sad and far too final. Instead, we like to use a Swahili phrase, Kwaherini, which means to go well. So Kwaherini, go well, go wild, stay safe, and stay hydrated out there. And then have a lovely rest of your day here in Disney's Animal Kingdom, or wherever your adventures may be taking you. On the right, watch those hands off. Speed Lake stores are opening. Kwaherini, thank you so much for the time with me today. Again, have a great rest of your day out there.